Hey folks, welcome to my channel, Number Pen. So we have the problem on our screen. Examine the continuity of the function h of x equals cot of x plus tan of x, right? So again, we know that this is nothing but a sum of two functions, which is cot of x and tan of x, right? So how do we go about solving this particular problem, right? So I'm going to solve this problem in a slightly different way. So all I'm going to do a little bit of simplification here. What is my cot x? My cot x is cos x by sin x, right? So let me write that. And what is my tan x is nothing but my inverse of cot x, which is sin x by cos x, right? So when I do a cross multiplication, what do I get? I get my numerator becomes a sine square x plus a cos square x, right? And we know that sine square x plus cos square x is always 1. And my denominator becomes sine x cos x, right? So what is this? Sine x the whole square plus cos x the whole square is always 1, right? And we are going to be left with 1 divided by, we are going to be left with, so what is this? 1 divided by sine x into cos x, right? So allow me to minimize so that we have everything on the same line. Yeah. So this is the function, and let me bold this. We will have to work with, right? So 1 divided by sine x and 1 divided by cos x, right? Now, if I write this as a product of two functions, right, what do I get? It is 1 by sine x into 1 by cos x, right? So that is one way of looking at it, which means that f and g will still be undefined whenever sin x and cos x equal value 0, right? So let me write that out here. So I have my f of x as 1 by sin x, 1 by sin x, and my g of x is nothing but 1 by cos x, right? And we know that sin x and cos x are continuous functions. But what about 1 by sin x and 1 by cos x, right? So let's know f of x is undefined at sin x equals 0, right? And what does that mean? F of x is undefined whenever x equals 0 and whenever x equals what is the next function? You have pi, right? Call for pi, and then you have 2 pi, which is the next function where your x is sin x is 0, and therefore f of x becomes undefined. And similarly, when you actually write this down, you will note that so on. And you might want to generalize it as f of x is undefined when x equals 2n times pi by 2, right? So what is 2n? 2n is always an even number, and whenever we have, right, n belonging to z, right? And when I say z, it means the list of positive and negative integers, right? Whereas 2n is always an even number. So whenever x equals an even multiple of pi by 2, and that's the way to define this. Whenever x equals even multiple of pi by 2, we know that sine x takes a value 0, and therefore f of x is undefined, right? So that is how we write this. And then let me come to my cos x, right? And very similarly, when g of x, which is my 1 by cos x, is undefined whenever cos x equals 0, right? And what does that mean? When is cos x 0, folks? Whenever we have, you know, x equals pi by 2, we have our cos x becoming 0, and we have 3 pi by 2, again cos x takes a value 0, and whenever we have 5 pi by 2, cos x takes a value 0, right? So when we generalize it like what we did in our previous sin x function, I can rewrite this as, I'm sorry, this is not f of x, this is g of x, right? I know that g of x is therefore undefined when x equals 2n plus 1 pi by 2, right? So this is the way we express it, right? So we have uh, a different scenario here. We have two functions. One is a 1 by sine x, and the other is a 1 by cos x, right? And f of x is undefined for all even multiples of pi by 2, and g of x is undefined for all odd multiples of pi by 2, right? So what does it actually mean? It means that f dot g, when I combine these two functions, my h equals f dot g is undefined in both these cases, right? When x equals 2n pi by 2 plus 1, and when n x equals 2n times pi by 2, right? And again, n belongs to z here. So this is what it is. Because whenever x takes 2n plus 1 times pi by 2, your 1 by cos x part of it becomes undefined. And whenever x takes 2n times pi by 2, your 1 by sine x part of it becomes undefined, right? So your f dot g remains undefined whenever x equal to 2n plus 1 pi by 2 and 2n into pi by 2, right? So can we further generalize it, right? What is 2n and 2n plus 1? So it is nothing but your odd and even multiple, right? So and when I'm going to rewrite this, the way to do this is pretty simple, right? H equals f dot g whenever is undefined when x equals n times pi by 2, right? And n can be any number. Now, we know that let n take an odd number. Let n let uh, n take an odd number or an even number, right? The function remains undefined. Whenever it takes an odd number, we know that the cos x part of it becomes undefined, which is 1 by cos x becomes undefined. Whenever n takes an even number, we know that the sin x part, which is 1 by sin x, remains undefined, right? So when we generalize this and write it, we will have to write it like this, right? And where n belongs to z. Right? But all other points, I don't see a challenge except for n times pi by 2. And remember, calling out that n belongs to the set of integers is very important, right? And you know why. I'm not going to go into that now. H is continuous for all x belonging to R except, and allow me to pull out the bracket. We copy this and write it like this, right? N belonging to Z. Remove these brackets. So this is how we write it, right? So therefore, H is continuous for all x belonging to R except n pi by 2, where n belongs to Z, which is nothing but your set of positive and negative integers inclusive of 0, right? So that's how we represent our final answer. I hope you found this content useful. Please do subscribe to my channel and support. Thank you.